Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Scout Selections here for Wednesday, October 9th. Before we get into today's play of the day, a quick recap of what happened on Tuesday. Fortunately, picked up a loss with the Altuve run prop. That was as close to a win as you can possibly get. Altuve got thrown out in a perfect relay in the fourth, and then he ended up getting stranded on third, I believe, in the ninth inning. Happens in terms of why the video is coming out so late. I was actually fasting all day, and then by the time the fast ended, the Nationals and Dodgers game started. So instead of making a video, I didn't really want to miss any of that game. And boy, I'm glad I didn't, because that game was, well, it was crazy. It was kind of I don't want to say it was a shock that Kershaw blew it again, but I think it was kind of a shock that the game went down the way it did. I think everything that Dave Roberts could have done wrong in that game, he did. And I think that if you were watching the game, first of all, bringing in Joe Kelly in that circumstance makes no sense to me. Maeda just struck out the side in, I believe it was the eighth. And then you took him out and then brought in. The whole thing made no sense. You can't blame Kershaw, which makes sense. I know that the pitch to Rendon wasn't that bad. The pitch to Soto was terrible. That was a meatball right down the middle. But overall, the Nationals did what they had to do. The Dodgers are eliminated, and I'm shocked that Dave Roberts hasn't been fired yet, because he will definitely be fired by the end of the week. But either or, nothing's really changed in the sense the Dodgers choked again once in October, which means that you have the Nationals and the Cardinals, and you have the Yankees, who will be facing off against the winner in the Game 5 between the Astros and the Rays. Very entertaining playoffs so far. Hopefully it will continue moving forward. And once the second-round matchups are determined, I can give out my thoughts on those as well. But in terms of the play of the day, we're actually going to be looking at a college football matchup during the weekend. Also, I will be having a play of the day video on October 10th. This is simply going to be the video I was going to make yesterday, but couldn't because of some religious obligations. So for that reason, I'm giving it out right now. In terms of the play of the day, we're going to be looking at college football, and we will be taking Navy -1 against Tulsa, which will be taking place on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. And Navy is currently available at -1. Let me just find the exact number here. Navy's available at -1 at FanDuel at -110, and that will be the line that we are using to give out on this one. Main reason why we like the matchup here, first of all, Navy has dominated the series in recent years. They have played each other each of the last 4 years, and Navy is 4-0. So Tulsa has no answers typically for the triple option attack. And on top of that, Tulsa is coming into this game off of both these teams have experienced very different emotional experiences over the last week. Tulsa should have beaten a ranked team on the road last week as they entered the fourth quarter with a 21-point lead, proceeded to blow the 21-point lead, missed about 3 field goals in the fourth quarter and overtime combined, and ended up losing to SMU in triple overtime on the road. Meanwhile, Navy was able to win a rivalry game against Air Force at home. So Navy's 3-1, Tulsa's 2-3, but Navy has all the momentum in the world after being able to defeat Air Force. And Tulsa's morale has got to be non-existent or pretty much low, to say the least, after blowing such an opportunity to SMU. Navy's dominated the head-to-head performance. Plus, if you look at the actual stats, Navy, as we all know, is a top 5 rushing team in all of college football because of their triple option attack. Malcolm Perry is an absolute monster when it comes to running the triple option from the quarterback position. And he has been, I'd say, as dynamic as Reynolds was when he used to run it a couple of years ago. But in terms of the rush defense, Tulsa does not have great rush defense. And they are currently allowing the 73rd most rushing yards in the nation, which is about, I'd say, average to say the least. But off of a heartbreaking triple overtime game and without ample time to repair, I think Navy's going to run the ball down their throat. I think Navy will be able to do whatever they want offensively. And we've seen with Tulsa against Oklahoma State and even against Wyoming and SMU, this team tends to choke in the fourth quarter of games. They don't really perform well in the second half. And I think Navy will be able to wear them down with their triple option attack. And I think that Navy only -1 here. They were originally at Pick'em. It is up to roughly -1. I think Navy's going to win this game by at least 3 points. I think it could be close because Tulsa will be returning home. But I definitely think that based on how Navy was able to gut out a win against Air Force, their one loss so far this season has come at Memphis, and Memphis is undefeated. and Navy was competitive throughout that entire game and ended up losing by 12 due to some long touchdown plays as well as a special teams touchdown. So Navy could have arguably have won that game, but as all, I'm not a fan of Tulsa. Navy, I think, will control the time of possession. I think they'll be able to break off some big plays with Perry in the triple option, and I think that Navy should be able to win this game by at least a field goal. So the play of the day for Wednesday, October 9th, is going to be on Navy -1, which is available at -110 at FanDuel. Now, just a quick reminder, I will be making another video sometime tomorrow morning, and stay tuned for that. That should either be on the NFL game tomorrow between the Patriots and the Giants, or I might go back to college football depending on what we see. However, it is unfortunate because after the game between the Astros and the Rays, which I could also give out as a play of the day, you kind of got to wait a little bit as you end up having the NLCS start on Friday and the ALCS start on Saturday, which is something that is worth keeping in mind. Quick question for Paul, will answer. Do I like the Patriots -17 against the shorthanded Giants? The issue that I have with the Giants mainly, which is the issue that everyone's had in this game when trying to handicap it, I don't know how the Giants are going to score. And I know that that's an issue that, of course, sounds like, well, of course, the Patriots are the better team. But no, the Giants actually have no weapons. Barkley's injured, Gallman's injured, and Gallman wasn't that great to begin with. Shepard is injured. He's been ruled out for the game. Ingram's out for the game. I don't know how the Giants are going to score. The total's been bet down from 46.5 to 41. We saw the Giants' offensive line, how they weren't able to handle the Vikings. I don't know how the Giants are going to score more than 14 points in this game. I think they'll score less. I think they should score around 10. If I had to lean in any direction, I would have to lean to New England. But as a whole, I would lean to the Giants team total under, or the first half team total under, because I don't know how the Giants are going to score in this game. I know Daniel Jones was great against the Buccaneers and the Redskins. Even the Redskins he wasn't that great in. But overall, he played a real defense last week, got a little bit exposed. And based on the Giants' defense and based on the fact that they have no weapons left after everyone's gotten injured, I expect the Giants to score 10 points or less in this game, and I think New England should win this game going away. However, one has to wonder how much New England actually cares, and they might pull some of the horses in the fourth quarter, which could lead some room in the back door, which is kind of what happened against the Jets a couple weeks ago as Stidham came in and threw a pick six because nobody really cared about the game. In terms of my thoughts, I think New England's going to coast. I think New England should win this game by at least 17 points. This number's a little bit tricky as you have some key numbers. It is available at 16.5 at some, 17.5 at others, so you could shop around. But if you're asking me right now on the short week, I would lean to New England. I would lean to the under because I think that the Giants should score 10 points. I think New England could easily run up the score, but I don't think there's really any desire to do that as they will simply look to win the game and get out. And I think that New England's defense will be able to get to the Giants quickly in the pocket, and I think the Giants will struggle as a result. I would consider taking the over New England sacks if that was available, but overall, I know that New England will be missing Dorsett, who will not play. Is that a big deal? No, because the Patriots are a next man up type of organization. It doesn't really matter who fills in. Everyone will produce. But in terms of the actual thoughts in that game, I might give out some player props or some thoughts in that game tomorrow. But as of right now, I would have to lean to the Patriots and the under. Very square lean, I know. But based on all the injuries, I can't bring myself to bet on the Giants. And I think that's pretty much the only way to look at it. But, yep, Sam, if you want to take the Giants on the money line, go ahead. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Your fantasy team kind of got screwed over once Barkley got injured. But we'll see what happens on that one. And if you want to bet on yourself getting in last place, you can hit me up for that one. But overall, though, play of the day will be on Navy -1, which is available at -110 on FanDuel. And other than that, though, we will be back tomorrow morning. And until then, good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.